Okay, I think we have everyone. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Gina Cross, and I am the director of the Park Pathways Travel Program, and I'm glad you're able to join us today to discuss, just go over our pre-departure information with Go Next. Next, I'd like to introduce your MSU host for the trip, Elizabeth Wheeler. She's here and she's just going to work.
Hey everybody, I'm Elizabeth Wheeler. I sent you an email about a week and a half ago with a little bit of information about myself. And I look forward to meeting you all in sunny Barcelona. Last I checked, it's going to be sunny pretty much in a week from tomorrow. So, and safe travels.
Okay, thank you, Elizabeth. All right, so before I introduce Emily, I just want to say once Emily has finished discussing some of the trip details, what I'll have everyone do, if you like, you can say a few words, kind of say what your graduation year, what year you graduated, and any connections you have with MSU. Or if you're not an MSU grad, then you can just, if you're traveling with someone that is, just kind of mention that. And once we get done, we can answer any questions as well. So, all right, I would like to introduce to you Emily Dean. She is a representative from Go Next, and she is going to review the tour details. Take it away, Emily.
Perfect. Thanks, Regina, and welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Like Regina said, I'm with Go Next. I'm the client service manager, so I work directly with the schools, the hosts, and everybody in the office. I've been at Go Next for 11 years. So if I don't know the answer to any of your guys' questions, I know where to find it, but I will know most of the answers. So today I'm just going to start out a little bit talking about the beginning of the cruise, on the cruise, and then just a brief about disembarkation. I'd like to start out by talking about your final documents that you guys have received via email from Go Next. These final documents contain your Oceania cruise summary, a general information attachment, along with attachments for our Go Next pre or post if you are booked on them. The general information page has lots of tips, tricks, reminders, who your program managers are. But the most important thing on this piece of paper is our emergency phone numbers. Their emergency phone numbers, you might want to like jot down, put it in your purse, put it in your phone, take this piece of paper with you, whatever is going to be the most beneficial for you. This is our on-call for travel day. The phone number that I'm referring to is the Go Next one. That's 612-802-5560. This phone number is for any travel delays, missed connections, changed flights, anything to let us know that something has happened to your flight, because we need to know where you guys are at all times. One for transfers and just one so we know about your embarkation on the cruise ship. This is a cell phone, so it will be answered. And if somebody does not answer it, feel free to leave them a voicemail, or if a flight number's just changed or something's just changed minor, feel free to give them a text message. But if you go ahead and leave them a message, they will return your phone call. And if it's that's 24 hours, you can call that whenever. And if it's during the day and you're US stateside still, you can give just the 1-800-842-9023 number, and our agents will be ready to help you. And if you have any changes, they will let the on-call person know. Like I said, changes will help with our ground transfers, so we know when to pick you up. Because if you're coming in early or coming in late and we're not notified, we won't know to pick you up and where to pick you up. One thing I like to say about luggage, when you land, if for some reason it's delayed, make sure you file a claim at the airport before you even leave the airport. This helps us find your luggage much faster than if we don't have a claim ticket. You would just file it there at the airport. Once you get on board Oceania, you'd give your claim ticket to the program manager or the onboard concierge, and they will reach out to the airline and help you find it. Packing tips. For suitcases, if you're bringing two, I always like to put a little of mine in each suitcase, same with my husband and son. This way, if one luggage were to get delayed, you'd still have something in the other piece of luggage. Also, anything important I would keep in your carry-on. So if you have prescription medication that you need, or if you have a CPAP or any such thing, I would take it in on your carry-on. Prescription medications, they do require them to be in the original pill bottle. With that being said, daily supplements or vitamins and such, those can just go in a pill container. But prescriptions, they do like to see in the original bottles. Another thing that people tell me is that they bring lists of their prescriptions with. I know, like for myself, I'm on 2 medications. I don't know what the milligrams are. I don't even know what one of them's real technical name is. So if you print them out, and if for some reason you were to lose your medication while you're over there, you could bring it to the pharmacy, call your local doctor, tell them what you need, and they could fill the prescription. Cell phone providers, everybody should check with your cell phone provider to see if you guys have an international coverage. And if you don't have international coverage, I highly suggest you add it. You just never know when you're going to need it. It might be that you're changing planes in an international terminal and you need to call us or text us and let us know about your flight or a delay. It could be when you're exploring a shore and you're on your own and you need to give somebody a call, you're lost or something's happened. It's just always nice to have. So call your cell phone provider, see if you can add it. And I always add it for at least another day after I'm supposed to get home, just in case there is a delay on the way home. Oceania doesn't require any vaccinations for this sailing. Now, once you've landed at your destination, everybody's going to be different. It's going to be based on your airline and where you guys are changing planes. Depending on where you're changing planes, it might be where you're going to clear customs. If your first international touch point is Barcelona, you'll be clearing customs there. What this means is you'll go ahead, grab your luggage, go through customs. And then everybody's going to be the same here. I'll go through what each person would be differently on. But for transfers, you're going to want to look for the ground transportation sign and head towards it. If you are on a Go Next pre-cruise, once you step outside, you will look for a Go Next representative. If you are on Oceania, just going for embarkation day, arriving the day of the cruise, you will look for an Oceania person. And if you guys are arriving on your own and doing something else and you need a transfer, Ubers, Lyfts, and taxis will be down at this area also. Again, Go Next, look for a Go Next person. We usually have a fluorescent sign. And if you're on embarkation day with Oceania, look for an Oceania person. Each transfer should probably have well, Oceania, let me back up, is a motor coach. So it'll be a big bus you're looking for. And in the window, they'll have an Oceania sign with the big blue symbol that you want to look for. And for Go Next, ours could be Sprinter vans or sedan cars. Again, just look for a person holding a sign. And if you get here, you think you've waited too long and you're just nervous, whatever, go ahead and give that on-call a number, give them a call, and they will go ahead and call and see where they're at. Never know if there's like an accident or traffic or whatnot. So just feel free to give them a call if you think you've waited too long. Once you've arrived at the pier, you're going to check in with Oceania. Most of you have probably already checked in online by now, but this is where you're going to give them your luggage. If you haven't been able to upload your photo, they'll take your photo for you. You're going to give them a credit card if you haven't done so already. This world card acts as you can get on and off the ship with it. It's your room key. It's onboard payment. Oceania is a cashless cruise line. So if you're doing a spa or ordering a bottle of wine or just anything that you need to purchase on board, you will use this card. When you are checking in, this is you're going to give Oceania your luggage to the porters. Anything that you want to keep with you, go ahead and keep with you. Your luggage will be in your room, obviously, before you disembark. However, it might not be in your room depending on when your rooms are ready. Cabins might not be ready when you get on board the ship. But you guys are free to explore the ship, check it out, have lunch at the Terrace Cafe. And then once your rooms are ready, Oceania will make an announcement. And when you're giving them your luggage, if you want to keep anything like, I don't know, if you want to book, it depends on what time people arrive. Some people arrive really early in the morning and cabins usually aren't ready until 11, noon, or 1, depending on where you're at on the ship. Being that Oceania is a cashless cruise line, the local currency is the euro. The US dollar is widely accepted every port that you guys are going to. So feel free to take out some euros. You don't need to take out any if you don't want to. I always bring a little bit of local currency with me. You can always take out more when you are there. I suggest taking it out from a local bank's ATM. You can exchange on board also. They do charge a fee. Let's see here. Sometimes people ask me how much money to bring. This is truly what you are going to spend. Like if you like to shop, you might want to bring a little more money. If you plan on eating off the ship at all, but most places do accept credit cards. It's just going to be small vendors that might only take cash. So, with that being said, bring what you think you are going to be doing in each port. Once cabins are ready, they'll make an announcement. You guys can make your way to the rooms. Each Oceania stateroom has two 110 voltage, and two 220s and a USB. So if you are going on the cruise and that's it, you will not need a converter of any kind. If you are extending on the beginning or the end, you might want to check to see if you're going to need an adapter. With our Go Next pre-cruise or post-cruise, you will need adapters. If you are venturing on your own, you might want to check with the hotel. Internet is available in your stateroom. There's 2 packages per stateroom. So if there's 2 of you in the room, you each can be logged in at the same time. Internet is going to be dependent on the stability of where you guys are at in the day. If you're in port, you're going to have a stronger signal. If you're out in the water, it might be less of a signal. Emails should always be, I've never had a problem checking emails. So you should be able to check emails. If you need to do Zoom calls or any work stuff, I'd wait till you get on board to see what your internet seems like. And then you can always upgrade your package on board if you think you need a stronger band. Also in your room, Oceania has a little newsletter. It's called The Currents. This is a very important piece of the cruise. It will tell you what is going on for the next day. It tells you what port you're going into, what time the ship will get into port, what time you can get off the ship, and most importantly, what time you need to be back on the ship. It also has emergency phone numbers for the ship in case you're out exploring and something happens and you need to call them and let them know. Tells you about the high tea, if there's any trivia, the shows for the next night, drink cocktails, just a lot of stuff on it. So when I'm exploring on shore, if I'm by myself, I always take that with, or take a picture of it just so you have the phone numbers and so you know what time to be back on the ship. Has a lot of good information on it. Oceania is country club casual. And what that means to them is it means no shorts, no jeans, and no beach flip-flops in the specialty dining and the grand dining room. The rest of the ship is casual. Some people do ask me if people dress up. Yes, people do dress up, but it's whatever you're comfortable with. If you don't want to bring any dressy clothes, and you don't have to, it's whatever you're comfortable with. And when I say beach flip-flops, everybody can wear open-toed shoes. They just mean the flip-flops. So none of those. The rest of the ship, like I said, casual. Shore excursions, casual. Definitely want to dress comfortable. A lot of uneven pavement over in Europe. So definitely wear comfortable shoes. I would dress in layers. The mornings always tend to be a little cooler, and then warm up throughout the day. I was reading the temperature also. It's mid 60s and even could get close to 70s some of the days. If you're wondering about any guidelines of what to wear on shore excursions, I'm not sure if anybody's going to churches or such. In the description of shore excursions, it would tell you if something had to be covered. And if you don't know where to find that, feel free to call our 1-800 number and we'll be able to assist you with that. In your room also, shore excursion tickets will be on the vanity and in an envelope, and they'll be your shore excursions for the entire week. If you guys are waitlisted for any shore excursions and let's say you had booked one in Amalfi and then all of a sudden you wanted to be waitlisted for something else, if you cleared that wait list, you might have 2 tickets for that day. So definitely when you get in there, look to see if you have 2 tickets. Because if you did clear something, you're going to want to let them know at Destination Services. That's their shore excursion desk. You're going to want to let them know which one you want to cancel so you're not charged for both. Another thing about the shore excursion tickets, if you want to put MS in the corner of the tickets, this will ensure that you guys are traveling with other Michigan State passengers. If somebody else is on the shore excursion from Michigan State. If not, you'll be with other Go Next passengers. Let's see here, other Go Next passengers. Some people like to know what other schools are on board. So I'm going to tell you some of the hosted schools that are on board with you guys. We have Texas Exis, University of Washington, Traveling Aggies, University of Nebraska, Texas Tech, UCLA, Georgia Tech, Kansas, and Notre Dame. So those are some of the larger schools that are going to be on with you guys. This is our first spring departure for 2024. It is our busiest departure for 2024. So there's going to be a lot going on this cruise for you guys. Back to shore excursions. Shore excursions will dispatch from the lounge. And in the front of the lounge, our program managers will be working up at the front. Your program managers for this sailing are Mike, Zora, Lucilia, and Peter. So a couple of them will be up front working the desk. You will wait for your ticket, the shore excursion, to be called. You'll bring your ticket up to them, and then they will hand you a bus ticket back, and then just wait for them to announce that that ticket is ready for departure. Then you guys will all disembark the ship together and head out for your shore excursion. The events for this sailing, I'm going to go over them. You guys would have received this in an email too. I just want to let you guys know, I also see your questions over here, but I'll address them at the end. So for the events for this sailing for you guys, and you will get this flyer once you're on board, so there's no need to memorize any of this. We will let you know again. But the first night we're going to have our Go Next reception. And at this reception, the program managers will be there to introduce themselves, to tell you what their job details are. And what their job details are is they're like your Go Next hosts. They're your onboard concierge. Anything that you guys have questions on, problems with, if anything occurs, you're not happy with, you're happy with, let them know right away. They're there to assist you. Oceana and Go Next are great partners, and they're amazing. You'll see that when you get on if you haven't traveled on them before. So they're there for us and to do anything to make your trip a trip of a lifetime. So the first night is our Go Next reception. The second night is going to be the captain's reception. Right now at this time, they're thinking around 6:30. However, look in your currents and it'll tell you exactly where it's going to be held and what time. And then for the 23rd, we're going to have a Michigan State alumni reception. It's for you guys. And then on the 26th, we're going to do a group photo. This is where I'm sure Elizabeth is going to bring a flag. And then a lot of people like to wear their school colors. We put you guys on the grand staircase, and then we take your photo. And then we'll go ahead and take you all to the grand dining room, and you guys will have a group dinner together. So those are your events. And like I said, we will hand this out once we're on board. And if there's any additional events, like Oceana has events, those will be listed in the currents. Specialty dining, if anybody needs to make changes, or you get on the ship and you're like, whew, this is a long day of a shore excursion. I don't think I can't do a dinner this day, and I want to see what's available. Every morning in the Terrace Cafe, there's a maitre d' that he will look for that evening to see if you need to cancel. If you say, hey, I met a friend and I want to see if we can join tables together, or if you want to add a reservation. Specialty dining is special. So it's not as large as the grand dining room or the Terrace Cafe. So they may be able to accommodate you and they might not be able to, but it never hurts to ask. So I always ask if there's something, or if you're like, I really loved Red Ginger and I want to go there twice and I don't want to go to the Polo Grill. Doesn't matter. You can always ask them. Let's see here. In your cabins also, the TV is your live activities. It will tell you, the captain will be on there. It'll talk about shore excursions. Your invoice will also be on the TV. So anything that you've charged on your world card will be on there. So I like to say, just review it, every day, every other day, just to make sure that there's charges that are yours and not yours. If they're not yours, go to reception and let them know so they can get it removed. One thing for the cruise to note, when you guys embark, destination services, which is the shore excursions, the lines will be long. Don't want to discourage you if you need to make any changes or have any questions, definitely jump in line. It goes pretty fast, but that's going to be their busiest day. And for the reception with the invoices, the last day is the busiest. So if you notice something on day 3 or 4, it's not yours, I would go down and fix it as soon as possible and not wait till the last night, because the last night is the busy night. Some people pay their bill there if they're paying other than the credit card that they put down. Another thing that's going to be listed on your invoice is gratuities. And gratuities are for the entire ship. Anybody that you have come in contact with, they automatically add to your invoice. And gratuities for this sailing penthouse and above are $23 a day per person. And then concierge and down is $18 a day per person. You can leave it as is, you can raise it, you can lower it. You can say, I only worked with Barb and Sally and I only want to tip Barb and Sally. Anything you want to do, you need to do this with reception. Everything on this, I shouldn't say everything, but a main point of this cruise ship is on deck 5. That's where our program manager desk is going to be. That's where our destination service is going to be. And that's where reception is going to be. So go ahead and anything you need there, that's where the majority of everything is. Passengers that are going to be on our Go Next pre-cruise, you guys will receive your name badges and lanyards on the pre-cruise. If you are not on the pre-cruise, when you get on board the ship, feel free to stop by the Go Next program manager desk and they'll have your name badges. Or if you get on board and you're like, oh, I'm too exhausted, I just want to sit down, or I want to have lunch and just enjoy it, or your cabin's ready and you just don't want to pick up your name badge right then, they'll bring them to the Go Next reception that evening, so no worries. You will get them. Let's see here. Let me look through the questions here and then you guys think about if you have any more here. Let's see here, 420. My hangouts here. Okay, hello, my tour is on 420 through Oceana, ends at 5 p.m. The ship, okay, so yes, if you've booked if that tour is with Kathy, if that tour is through Oceana and it says it ends at 5, but the ship disembarks at 5, you are fine. If the tour is not with Oceana and you're booked an independent one, then that would not be fine. Oceana sometimes changes their timings but like I said, if you're on a Oceana shore excursion, you are fine. If it says you're departing when you should be back arriving, they will have worked that all out. And if you have any questions when you get on board, feel free to ask destination services. Just say, hey, I see we disembark at 5 o'clock, but my shore excursion ends at 5 o'clock. They might be like, we'll actually have you back in at 4:30, so no worries. Tipping at the end of the cruise. Okay, tipping at the end of the cruise, that'll be on your invoice, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. Unless you want to give extra, you could tip in dollars or in euros. Either works. If you're asking about tipping for shore excursions, that's up to your own discretion. If you want to tip for a shore excursion, you could tip the driver or the guide. I always do it based on if the tour was good, I could understand them. I was interactive and stuff. And also I base it on if it's an 8-hour tour or a 4-hour tour. But again, that's completely up to you guys if you want to tip or not. Athletic shoes acceptable for dining. Yeah, I don't see why not. As long as you don't have jeans on with them. I mean, if that's what you need to walk in because it helps. Yes, definitely. I think athletic shoes would be fine. As long as they're, clean and, just depending on what they look like, I suppose. Is it just for walking? That's why? Just being able to walk good, probably. So that's fine. Just no jeans with them or shorts. Let's see here, Steve, referring to needing a sport coat. Oh, no, if there's a letter that you received needing a sport coat, definitely not. That shouldn't be on any of our material. You don't need a sports coat. You can just wear a collared shirt. But like I said, some people wear them, but you definitely do not have to.
Okay, there looks like there's a couple of other questions here. We have a person that's traveling actually with U of M. She's also with that group. And she wanted to know which excursion she would be on. It's just based on which one she signed up with, correct?
What, I'm sorry, what do you mean by?
Okay, so she signed up with our group because she's a Michigan State grad, but she's also traveling with alums from the University of Michigan. And so
Okay.
she just wondered what group she would be on the excursions.
So if you want, you can talk to the program managers. They work the details out the night before you guys actually go on tour. They go through a whole list. You can write in the corner of your ticket, UM and MS. And then, so if there is somebody from Michigan State on the tour, you will go with them. And if there's not, you can go with the University of Michigan. You could go with either or. You can just let them know once you get on board that you are affiliated with both.
Okay, and it looks like Dave Payne asked a question, can you cover tipping? Did Emily cover that for you, Dave? Okay, one of the things I do want to mention is for the excursions, it is recommended that gratuity amounts for the guides and the bus drivers is $1, $1 for the driver, $2.50 for the guide for half-day excursions, and $2 for a driver and $4 for the guide for a full-day excursion. They can be, I believe they can either pay them in euros or dollars. I think they accept both. At least
Correct,
that's
yep.
been my experience.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then the next question, will the World Card take into account the onboard credit?
Yes, yes.
Believe so,
It'll
yeah.
automatically, it should show up right on your invoice on the TV. If you've traveled with Oceana before and you have any of those benefits, or if you have any shipboard credits, it should show up on your invoice. Let's see here, Barry Watkins. Hang on, I'm just pulling up to see over here. Watkins. Okay, so you, Barry, you guys are doing the 2-night pre-cruise and you're gonna come in, you said, from Madrid. We have a reservation for the night at the Barcelo.
That was
Yeah, so if that's the hotel, I'd have to look here and see. But if that's a hotel that we introduced as being part of the pre-cruise program, that's the hotel we're using. If there was any changes, we'd send an email out and let you know, but let me just pull up our. Okay, so are you actually Barcelo Grand Hotel Calderon? Yes. So we are, well, we're at the, sorry, my computer's just pulling it up. The NH Calderon. So is that the same hotel that you're talking about, the Barcelo Grand Hotel? Because we're at the NH Calderon.
It's the one that was listed in the original documents, the publication. We'll be arriving by train. I just didn't want anybody looking for us at the airport that day.
Okay, and then will you transfer yourself to the hotel then?
Oh, sure.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, we'll be at the hotel. The night.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Yeah, and I do see that the full name of it is the NH Collection Barcelona Grand Hotel Calderon. So yeah, you guys will, that's the same hotel.
Okay, so we can either stay in that room, or if you have a block of rooms that you want us to be in, we can switch rooms.
Well, my understanding is that we have to check out of ours and then check back in with Go Next. I think that's what I understood when I emailed you all about it.
So depending on what room category you guys have booked for the one night on your own will depend on if you have to switch rooms or not. But when you check in, just let them know that you're part of the group the next day, and they
Okay.
might be able to keep you in the same room.
Okay,
It doesn't matter. Either way would be okay. Just we'll find out what they say.
thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Okay, it looks like there's another question here from Peter. We are arriving early so can we connect for a ride to the ship at the airport? When you say arriving early, is that part of the pre-cruise, or are you just doing flights on your own?
We're doing flights on our own, but we'll make our way to our hotel. But we wondered, should we go back to the airport and connect with Oceana for a ride to to the cruise line, or should we make our way to the, we don't know what's most convenient.
So you're gonna want to definitely take an Uber or a Lyft. Your local concierge at the hotel will be able to help you with that. It would be the most convenient for you guys just to take transportation from your hotel to the ship.
Okay, so they'll know
the ship.
exactly what dock and whatever we have to be.
So on your final documents, if anybody's coming in on their own, the cruise terminal address is listed on there. So you can just go ahead and refer to that.
Okay.
When will we see those?
I
You should have already received them.
Yeah, I think I have them.
Okay.
That's how I printed my boarding pass, right?
Your flight codes are on yes, they're on there. So that's how you would have known. about your
Well, they're
flights.
actually on the final documents, not on your boarding pass. The boarding
Okay.
pass is for to at the cruise terminal, you'll need that. But the flight information is listed in the final documents that you would have received from GoNext by
You know
email.
what date that was sent out?
It was the 29th of March, I believe.
Okay, that's helpful.
And if you don't have it, just let me know and I can resend it to you because they do send those to me and I can
Okay.
forward.
Okay, and that's Regina talking to me?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
okay, cool.
Okay.
And are you gonna ask us our other question? Cause they're like probably the next one up is from us.
Okay. Oh, it says we are waitlisted for excursions. Should
Yeah.
we remove ourselves from any wait list now?
Well,
No.
I looked at them yesterday and when when they said one was available, but then I tried to get on that one and then they go, no, that's gonna interfere with your itinerary. And I'm thinking, but I don't have an itinerary. I'm just waitlisted on the same day, same location. I'm waitlisted for 2 or 3 different excursions. So I don't know how they're gonna sort that out, which one I'm gonna get, or if I'm gonna get any of them, I guess.
So whatever one clears, if you've cleared a shore excursion, have we let you know if you've cleared a shore excursion? If you have,
Yeah, I was waitlisted on 4. I've been cleared on 2, but I'm still waitlisted on 2 other days. And I'm
Okay.
waitlisted on multiple for the same day for the same port. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I looked at them and I tried to like change a time that looked to be available. And then when I went to change you can't change that one. I forget what the exact communication was, but you can't do that because that's going to interfere with your schedule. And I go, well, I don't have a schedule.
So I wonder if something else has cleared because usually the computer will only list that. You might want to give our agents a call just to verify which tours have actually been confirmed. Because the only reason the system should say that is because you need 75 minutes in between tours. So if you're confirmed on something, the system's probably telling you you can't do the other one.
Okay, so am I calling Oceana or am I calling GoNext?
Nope, you call us for everything. So and I noticed there's a couple people asking for the number, so I'll give them to you. So during normal business hours, the phone number is 1-800-842-9023. And then for the emergency phone number, when you're traveling, the number is 612-802-5560.
Okay. Yeah, like I say, I looked at all the ones I'm waitlisted on and yeah, it was very confusing. But I did already talk to somebody online or Oceana, I think. I didn't call GoNext. I think I called Oceana and they just said go online and book one and whatever. I'll call the GoNext tomorrow.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Another question for you about transfers. We're coming in 3 days early. We have a couple other couples that are coming in. We're staying at a different hotel than where you're located. Can we come to that hotel to get transferred to the ship? Or do we just need to make our own arrangements?
Yeah, you'll want to make your own arrangements. And I say that partially because our people are going to be leaving early in the morning and they go on a tour that day. So you're going to want to make your own arrangements to get to the cruise terminal.
Thank you.
What do we expect for the cost? If we get to the airport, we're going to be there in Barcelona for a couple of days. What's the cost for Uber and stuff to get there and back?
So the port, okay, so from the airport to the port is about 9 miles. If you're staying like downtown Barcelona, in Old Town to the ship terminal, when I Googled it earlier, I was just talking to Regina about this, it's real close. So they said about 10 euros when I was looking online. So depending on where you guys are staying, I think it's pretty
Okay.
inexpensive.
Can we use US currency for that? Or credit card?
So if it's Uber Lyft, that would be however your system is set up. It's usually
We don't
obviously
need
a
it.
credit
We don't
card.
Either, we haven't booked, we haven't.
We'd
done
use
it.
a cab
Yeah.
of some.
Oh, okay, then yeah, then you would, it depends on the cab person. I would actually, before you get in the cab, discuss what the rate is gonna be and
Sure.
discuss the payment.
Excellent, that answers that. Okay, good,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep.
Okay, looks like Sue Robertson, you had a question regarding tipping. Did that get answered, or would you like us to review it again? Oh, Sue, I believe you're on mute. Oh, I'm afraid we still don't hear you. Yeah, looks like it's still on mute. So, Emily, why don't you just go over tipping, Oceana tipping again?
Yeah, for sure. Gratuities will be added to everybody's invoice. At the end of the cruise for Penthouse and above, it's $23 a day per person. And then for concierge and down, it is $18 a day per person.
So what will happen is when you check into the terminal, they'll ask for a credit card, and then everything on board the ship is automatically added to your credit card, including the gratuities at the end. So, and as Emily mentioned, if for some reason you only want to tip certain people, then you need to speak with the reception area. You can let them know if you want to make changes to that. Okay, all right. So then Sue has another question. There is a 6-hour delay from landing in Barcelona and the hotel opening. Can you add a little bit more to that so we quite understand? So are you going into Barcelona early, or are you on the pre-cruise?
Are you talking to Barry Watkins?
To Sue. Oh, that's right. Well,
So Sue, if this is for Sue Robinson, you guys are on the 2-night Go Next pre-cruise. I'm assuming what you're saying is you're arriving early. Hotel check-in is until probably 3 o'clock. With that being said, we'll still pick you up. We're going to bring you to the hotel. They will, if they can get you in, we always try to get there. Our program managers arrive a day or two before you guys. They try to work out getting you guys in early. So Go Next is the first people into the hotel. And if your room isn't quite ready, then they'll hold your luggage and you guys can explore.
okay. Then she has another question about making a Zoom call on board. You would need to bring your own computer in order to do that. And you should be able to do that right in your stateroom. And so it's just a matter of connecting to the internet and finding the link for your Zoom call.
Regina, if I can add to that, you can also do a Zoom call on your phone if you have the app installed. And one way to save on bandwidth is to not turn your camera on. So you can do a Zoom call just with audio only, which might reduce the load on the internet, especially if you are not in port. So,
Will we know what the dock will be for each landing? Will that be easily available to us?
You mean the address of each port that you're going into?
The dock, yeah, exactly. If we had any kind of emergency and we needed to just simply take a taxi back to the dock from maybe something where we're on our own or whatever.
That will
So they
be
don't necessarily, go ahead.
in currents. I believe that'll be in the currents. So each day you'll receive it and it'll say the name of the port on the currents.
And the current is the newsletter, or is that what
The
you're talking
newsletter, yes.
And that's email, is that correct?
Yeah, and what I suggest you do, when you receive the currents, take a picture with it with your phone. If you have a camera phone, you know, a phone with your, or a camera on your phone, take a picture of it each day. That way, when you're out and about and you need to, you know, if you need that address, you have it right there with you, or you can just take the currents with you as well. Any other questions? Emily, can you mention when people will receive their name badges?
Yeah, so if you're on the Go Next pre-cruise, you'll receive them when you're on the pre-cruise. Name badges, if you are coming in on embarkation day, you can stop by deck 5 and see one of our program managers. They'll have the name badges there. And if you don't have time to stop by the desk or you're just too tired, they will bring them to the reception that evening.
Okay, all right. And I do recommend that people wear them for the Go Next reception and also for the MSU reception. That way people can know who you are. Looks like there was another question. Can you bring wine onto the ship?
Yes, each stateroom you can have 6 bottles.
Yeah,
And yep.
but they will charge you if you want to have that wine at dinner in any of the restaurants. They will charge you a corkage fee to open that bottle of wine. But there are corkscrews inside your stateroom, so if you just want to enjoy it in your stateroom, you can do that.
You're gonna run them.
Yeah. Is there bottled water on board that you can take when you leave the ship?
Let's see here. So you can so when you're getting off for a shore excursion, they hand you bottles of water. And now, do they
Actually,
still
that's
give you that
changed,
bottle?
Emily.
I was just gonna
I've
say
been
I
on
haven't been on.
recently.
I
So
was
what
say you
they
were just
do
on
now,
board.
yeah, to cut back on, the use of plastic bottles, they now have inside your stateroom, it's more of a glass bottle of water. And, but there are water bottles that they give you that are metal. They'll be right inside your stateroom. And so you can use those. There are filling stations also in different parts of the ship. And so you can use those and take those and keep them with you. They're yours to keep as well at the end of the cruise. And what will happen is if you do drink up that glass bottle of water inside your stateroom, they will refill that for you too. So
Another
yeah, they're trying to
question.
get away from plastic, so.
Could you talk about the laundry facilities?
Yeah, laundry on every floor. It has the free soap and such. So you just have to find a good time that works for you, based on the hours that they're open. It is a very popular place. So, you just have to pick a day. Like if you're not doing a shore excursion for a day and it's a day that people are getting off the ship, that would be a good day to do it. Or just stay back a little bit and then you go and, you know, enjoy later or get back on the sailing before everybody else. Unless you're doing a shore excursion every day, then you might want to try to do it during dinner. If you are a later dinner, but soap is included, and it's free of charge.
Yes, on days of sea, it's quite crowded. If you have a day at sea, it's going to be quite crowded. And I believe they're open 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Right. Let's see if we have any other questions here. All right. Anyone think of anything else? What is the final disembarkment on April 29th?
So disembarkation will be based on your flight times. They'll give you a ticket and you'll meet in the lounge and then they'll disembark according to the color of your ticket or according to when you guys flights are. And if you are on the Go Next post cruise, you guys will disembark together. Everybody is usually off the ship by 9 a.m.
We are not doing either one of those. We're going on our own by train to Venice and doing that on our own. So do we need to?
You'll just mark that you're independent and they will go ahead and give you a time to get off the ship. And if you have something that you need to be to a train or whatever, you just let them know what time it is and they'll disembark you according to what time you need to be off.
And who are we letting know that?
You will receive a letter, a disembarkation letter midway through the cruise, or probably closer to the end, and it will ask you. And you just fill it out and bring it back to them.
I do know that Sue did have a question that she posed to me yesterday, asking she didn't receive her luggage, the Oceana luggage tags. So I assume that they'd be able to get those at the terminal, correct, Emily?
Correct. Yep. Anybody that didn't receive them, they'll give you luggage tags once you arrive.
Here. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Do penthouse suites have laundry service provided?
Yes. Yep. You'll just go ahead and talk to your cabin steward and they'll get that squared away for you, anything that you need.
All right, any other questions at all? If you, once you get off this Zoom call, if you do have questions, feel free to pose those to me and I can make sure that you get the answers. Okay,
Thank you very much.
all right. Well, thank you, Emily, very much for
Thank you.
reviewing this tour and all the details that are needed. And so now what we'll do is go around the room. If you'd like to say a few words, talk about your connection to MSU or the year of graduation, that'd be wonderful. So we can kind of get to know one another before you leave on the trip. And so I'm just going to go around the screen here and I see names, so I'll just call you out. And if you want to say a few words, go for it. So Barry Watkins, the Watkins.
Yep, Barry and Mary. This isn't our first cruise. We've posted some pictures on that book that you're putting together. That's some of our highlights from previous trips. I'm a MSU grad in 65 and 70. I suspect by looking at these faces and at those dates that we're going to be the senior citizens here. So we expect deferential treatment from everybody. Mary's a graduate from Vanderbilt.
Nashville.
Our son went there as well, and I'll be wearing the hat that I earned from Vanderbilt.
Wonderful. Great. Okay, Pat and Elaine Gumper, previous travelers. They've been on Oceana before. I traveled with them, so.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we are 1982 graduates.
In 86.
And 86. Pat stayed to go to vet school. And our first trip with you guys was on Alaska. That was 2 years ago. And we had such a great time that when we got this brochure in the mail for the Mediterranean cruise, we immediately signed up. So we're very much looking forward to it.
Good. Wonderful. Suzanne?
Hi, I'm Suzanne Robinson. This is my second trip with Go Next. I went to Greece, my husband and I, in 2020. I'm a 1974 graduate of Michigan State, and I graduated with a degree in elementary education. And we lived in Okemos. I was figuring it up for 46 years. Before moving to South Haven. So we've been pretty active going to football games and basketball games, and we're looking forward to traveling with some other Spartans.
Wonderful. Thank you. Dan?
Am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
I'm a 1976 graduate of MSU. First major cruise. My wife and I have done a number of smaller Caribbean type cruises, Bahamas and that kind of thing. So this is really Italy and Greece and Spain have been on her bucket list for forever and ever. So it was great timing about a year ago when we received the brochure from you that talking about this cruise. So we've been very much looking forward to it, and glad to know that there's going to be a number of other Spartans joining us. And geez, somebody mentioned U of M. I'm a little disappointed that there's going to be some U of M folks, but we'll tolerate them. And so no, we are actually doing the pre-Barcelona trip as well, or excursion as well. So we're also looking forward to that, getting in a little early, and so no, really excited about it all. Thank you.
Good. Wonderful. Thank you. All right, Sue Robertson. Still can't hear. Okay. All right. Next, Steve.
Yeah, my wife and I, Janie and I, are both MSU grads in 1975. She was an undergrad, I was a grad student. And we live in Okemos and have for 40 years. And we have two sons that attended Michigan State. One of them is a veterinarian in Traverse City. The other is a PT here in the Lansing area. And this is our fourth trip on the marina alone. And we're looking forward to getting back to the Red Ginger. Be sure to have the sea bass.
Yes, wonderful. That's a fan favorite.
Mhm.
Okay, Jim and Amy.
Mhm.
Not working? Okay, if I do that, does that help?
She should be able to control it. Mhm.
They can hear, but they can't.
Okay, all right, maybe don't worry about it. We'll come back to you if, in a minute here. So next I'm gonna push it back to Elizabeth to talk about the online directory that we have for this trip. She's gonna give a little bit of information and kind of mention that it's possible to actually upload photos during the trip. So
Yep.
take it away, Elizabeth.
Barry, you alluded to it. We have what we call our Bright Proud tour books, and we do these for a number of our tours, and it's a really great way to get to know some of the folks that we're traveling with outside of just their MSU affiliation, but you can upload your hobbies, some other countries you've traveled to, some photos, and a little bit of information about yourself. We really do encourage you to add a little bit in there, even if it's just to include your photo and your name. I do want to express that these are very private and limited only to the people on this tour. And there is no way for anybody to hack into this or get any personal information from this. We only send this to people who are registered for the tour. If you haven't had an opportunity to create your page yet, you can still continue to do so. You can continue to do so even through the tour. I can certainly help you if you are experiencing any difficulties. And you'll notice, and I will certainly get into this more once I see you and meet you, we've created a photo album for tour photos. I'll be uploading photos in there, and I will give you information on how you can do so as well, because then the intent is to not only capture the persons on the trip through this tour book, but the photos that we take. And then this will, when you return home, this will be a memento of the tour itself, people and the things that we've all seen, because we're all going and doing different things. We're all going to see different things that we find of interest, and it's kind of one of those really neat things. I keep saying things. It's one of those really neat options that we have just started using this year. So I hope you'll check it out. If you have any questions, we're happy to help. But I do hope you create a page if you haven't already done so. And thank you to everybody who already has. So.
Yes, and Elizabeth, can you mention your day of arrival? So, yeah.
I am getting into, I'm actually leaving on Monday for Barcelona. And no, I'm not even remotely ready. I have things thrown in my suitcase. That's about it. But I'm getting in, I'm sorry, I'm actually leaving on Monday. I will get into Barcelona on Tuesday. I got a couple days on my own and get over the jet lag. So I will be arriving, embarking the ship Friday about noonish. So I will be hanging out. I will look forward to meeting you if I happen to run into you while you're moving around the ship, but I will certainly meet you at the Go Next reception that evening. Please do wear your name tag so I can figure out who is with our group. I'll be looking the same. I'll just be wearing a name tag, that kind of thing. But yeah, that's when I'll be there. I did, you've got my email, so if anything does come up early next week, feel free to email me, Regina, or Emily as you're moving through the next few days and getting all prepared to leave. So,
All right.
anything else you want me to touch on?
No, I think that's good. I think
Okay,
it's good.
so
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it looks like we still have Emily. So if anyone has a last minute question that you want to ask, she's here still. So, okay. If not, all right. Well, thank you all for attending this meeting. I hope it did answer a number of questions that you had and prepare you for the trip. I wish you safe travels and a wonderful time, and represent the Spartans on board. So,
Thank you.
Go
all right.
green.
Thank you, Emily.
Go
Yeah,
white,
you're welcome. Enjoy.
Go
Have
green.
fun, everybody.
Go green.
go white.
Forward to meeting everybody. Okay.